If you want to be able to run code from the command line or even the IntelliJ terminal in this class, you're going to have to do Lab3B, which is where we're going to install the libraries that we've given to you. So what are the libraries? Well, if you go into your skeleton folder, there will be something called javalib, and this contains a bunch of different files that may change throughout the semester that are just code that you might want to use, various useful libraries. Okay. So you'll first run into this issue if you try and compile Lab3's arithmetic test. If you try running this without having the libraries installed, you'll get all these errors. Package org junit does not exist, yada, yada, yada. Okay. So this will be a walkthrough of the Linux and Mac OS directions. If you're a Windows user, go check these guys out. So we'll start off, well, I guess you start off by clicking this video link. I'm not going to do that because that would create a terrible time paradox. But what I'm going to do is continue along from here. So if I go to point 1, then I need to make sure that I pull from the skeleton to make sure I have the most recent stuff. Okay, so I do this. All right, something's happening. That's good. Already up to date. All right, great. So we have all the most recent stuff, though maybe you'll get some new stuff and have to do a merge. All right. So now what we're going to do is go to the javalib folder in our repository. So for me, that is this folder. I'm going to type pwd. And it's going to give me the full path. So I'm going to copy and paste this into some place, like right here. Okay? Just to have that ready for later. All right, the next step is to set up a so-called class path environment variable. And what that's going to do is tell Java every time you try and run something, where should I look for files? So if I do echo class path in Mac OS, that's not the directions here, but that'll show me the current class path. Okay, $ class path. It's saying there is no class path. So right now, Java, anytime I try and run something, it's only going to look in the current folder. So if there's something in this folder that I need, we're not going to be able to find it here. Okay. So to do that, what we need to do is open the bash profile folder file in my home directory. And notice it's .bash profile. Okay. So let's go to my home directory. And so if I do ls, it lists all of this stuff. But you'll notice there's no .bash profile. In fact, it's a hidden file. And even if I go to Finder, and I go to my home directory, there's no .bash profile, but I promise you it is actually secretly there, on my computer at least, because I have one. Okay? So any file in macOS that has a dot at the beginning will be, by default, not shown in any kind of thing. And as far as I know, there's no Show Hidden Files option in macOS in the Finder, so if you want to set it up, I'm going to suggest that what you do is open it up with a text editor. So I'm going to use one called Pico. It's a lightweight text editor that comes with macOS. And I'm just going to do .bash _ profile. And I'm going to press enter. Okay. This is that hidden file, and these are its contents. Now in your case, it may be empty. And if it's empty, that just means you don't have one of these files yet, and that's totally fine. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type out what says here, export cs61b lib dir equals, and now comes that stuff I set aside. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste this in, and then I'm going to put a slash here. Okay, and so what that's going to do is set up a variable that my operating system can use in the future called cs61b lib dir. Okay, that's the location. Right. Now, word of warning, you should not be doing. Right, so some of you may try and do a shortcut and do something like that. Work bqd javalib. This may well not work. Okay, so just a warning that don't use this tilde. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, well, obviously you're not going to do that. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is now create my class path. All right. So in this case, I'm going to say export class path equals $ class path colon. Okay. What does this part mean? This means take the original class path that may have already existed, created by your operating system, and now we're going to append to it. Okay. This is just bash syntax. That's the shell that we're using. So it's basically the operating system syntax. And then I'm going to do $61b _ lib _ dir colon /. Okay. So this means keep looking in the current directory as well, please. It's always a good thing to look in the current directory. Okay. So if all those little details don't make sense, it's okay. You'll come to understand it over time, but I figured I may as well explain it while I'm going. But this is all you have to type in. Okay. So now what we're going to do is make sure that everything's correct. All right, so we double check and we see, does this look roughly right? Okay, looks pretty good. And then we look over here and we find this also looks pretty good. Though actually, I look very carefully and I see that I've missed a slash. Okay, so what we're going to do is look ahead and notice that, oh, we missed something. Okay, so I'm going to put the star back. That's very important, okay? Don't miss the star, like I did. Or did I? All right. So next thing I'm going to do is, this is Pico, and to save in Pico, I push Control-O, press Enter, Control-X to exit. Okay, so now I'm going to try again. Java C, arithmetic test. Oh, still not working. Okay, well, that's because I haven't finished the directions. Now what I need to do is restart any terminal windows. Okay, so, oops. So I'm going to create a new terminal window. Close this old one. Okay, same folder. And now when I do it, hopefully it works. Okay. All right, it's working. Great. So now that everything's working, now your computer for the rest of the semester, you'll be able to run anything from the command line. Now you may, depending on your operating system version, have to do the same set of steps, but now for a file called -rc, exact same thing. And now everything will compile and run, and it's lovely. All right, that's all.